Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 30th Commitments of Traders report of 2021. And as we always do, we should start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before I jump into the review, if you're somebody who's new to this data, the Commitments of Traders data, then here at COTbase.com, we offer you a ton of educational material, not only in a written format, but we have a lot of videos as well that you can watch, and hopefully that will help you better understand how you can actually use this in your trading or investment strategies. Okay, back to the review and starting off with our first market, the sugar market. Here we have, as you may see, a 24% change in commercials positions, net positions. And of course, we're talking about a 52 weeks look back period. If you look at the chart, you can see in red, of course, commercials. That's their change that we witnessed from last week. It is larger than average, I should say that. But if you look back in time, we have had, similar changes. It is bearish, pointing downwards, but please keep in mind that we already had a bit of a decline on Thursday, Friday. So who knows, maybe this signal was a little bit late for us to act upon on Monday. Nevertheless, it can actually influence the market and push it lower for the next few days. We'll see, but if we open a 5 year chart, we can get a general understanding of stress levels in this market. So as you may see, for roughly a year, we have been in this bearish zone. As the market has headed higher, we're not surprised to see more of a bearish extreme situation here. We need to go back to 2016, October of 2016, to see an even greater extreme. That just really shows us the extent how much traders can actually increase their positions. Commercials could increase their net short positions to over 400,000 contracts. So that's something you should definitely keep in mind. So what I mean by that is this trend could easily continue on for another couple weeks, month, possibly even a year or two before we reach a significant change in the trend. And of course, that will be pinpointed by the report. The next market will be copper. We have a 22% change over here in commercials positions. Of course, let's go back to the 1 year chart. And here you can see that change size. Now here, compared to sugar, this change is actually meaning a larger change. So you only have to look at the chart visually and see that the magnitude of this sudden change is much greater than usual. Again, we are talking about a bearish COT change signal. We had a bit of a weakness this week, but the signal itself suggests we could see even more weakness coming in the next few days. Moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see that just a couple weeks ago, we had that relative bullish extreme, relative meaning we haven't had that level in traders' positions for a year now. But in a wider perspective, you may also see that we are actually moving away from a significant bearish extreme that couldn't really cause a change in the trend. It did push the market a bit lower, but I mean, generally speaking, it's an obvious rally that we are in. So to really see or expect a top, we should see traders shifting their positions to the bearish side of the market, meaning commercials going towards, let's say, 100,000 contracts net short, large speculators towards 75, 80,000 contracts net long. That would be a case when I think one could start expecting a major shift in the trend. Up until then, I think the trend is definitely upwards. And even though we have this bearish COT change signal, I don't see that it would have a medium to long-term effect on the market. Okay, another soft for this review, lumber. But here in lumber, we have a positive change signal, an 18% change in commercials positions. You can see that on the chart over there. Again, you always have to compare that to the general changes in traders' positions, and you can find that it is actually not that surprisingly large. It's kind of going back and forth, so I wouldn't necessarily put too much emphasis on it, but it does mean that it's expected for the market to rally a bit early next week. We'll see what happens, but I'm more excited about the 5 years chart because I mean, if you look at the price chart, there has been some significant drop in prices, and I mean, one would expect that to come with a more bullish extreme, but that's not necessarily the case. So based on that and the current report and how traders are positioning themselves, I wouldn't be surprised if lumber actually went even further south. So that's absolutely a possibility. If you look back in time, whenever traders, commercials were net long, that actually coincided with a bottom in the market. It's not necessarily so easy to see on this chart, but you can definitely go back with, let's say, a 1 year chart, and it will become more visible. So yeah, that's not the case. I would expect traders to shift their positions accordingly before I'm becoming more excited about an opportunity. So that's what the report tells me today. Moving on to large speculators, COT Extreme, we have Orange Juice, another soft on top of our list with 154 reports extreme. Okay, so that's large speculators. What that means is we have not seen traders at these levels since April of 2018. Okay, it is a bearish COT Extreme, no question about that, but here's the but. Caution is advised because even on this 5 year chart, you can see that there was time when traders were even greater. Their positions were even larger. So meaning commercials at 13,000 contracts, that's something absolutely possible. Large speculators at roughly 10,000 contracts net long. So that's something you should keep in mind, a possibility that can happen here in Orange Juice. An energy for the next market, heating oil 141 report extreme and large speculators. Again, we are talking about a extreme roughly 2.5 years in time. It is bearish, but again, I can only repeat myself. We can expect the market to continue its path, its course, and as it does, one would expect traders to shift their positions accordingly. So of course, in this rally, large speculators are buying and then just adding to their net long positions. You can see how much they can actually grow before the market changes its direction. And then last but definitely not least, we've got the Euro Japanese Yen pair. We are talking about a relatively new market because we have only report history going back to 2017. So that's something I'd be cautious about. So if you are trading the Euro Japanese Yen currency pair, then you might want to consider analyzing the Euro and then separately the Japanese Yen commitments of traders report before you act upon this signal. Because of course this signal in itself is bearish, but one would be definitely interested in the separate currencies and then analyzing which one is more stronger or weaker. So that's how you do it. So that was all for this review. Of course, there's much more to do here at COT Base, where we offer a ton of markets to analyze. I'm only showing you a few. You can look at any COT report type that is available at CFTC, not only the classic, the legacy commitments of traders report, but also the disaggregated, the TIF and the CIT. You can look at futures only data if that's something you want to do, or the futures and options that we by default have in these reviews. And we actually constructed the options only data, which of course subtracts the futures from the futures and options to receive that value. It's very, very good and gives you a different understanding of what traders are doing. Of course, you can dig deep by using all our tools available to you. You can look at the COT index, the MOVE index. We have a wonderful long-term trend indicator. We analyze volume and open interest. And of course, if you are trading a few markets, you can always do that by coming to the left side panel, choose your market, and then open the table and analyze any certain set that data set that you're interested in. So anything is possible here. It's very, very complex and digs deep. If you're somebody who is more sophisticated and wants to understand what specifically large speculators are doing, then you can definitely do that here at cotbase.com. Now, let me go further a little bit. We have some very useful indicators as well. So this, of course, is the website, but we do have some indicators that you can download and use in your platform. So the COT based Pro indicator is basically everything you see on the website, but you can use it in NinjaTrader 8 and use it on any chart, and you can put moving averages on it, whatever. So it gives you a much wider opportunity to analyze the reports. And then we've got this amazing tool, the ICOT Intraday Indicator, which I'm very, very excited about, because we've spent many years on developing something that is, does what Commitments of Traders analysis does, but in the real time. So you can go into the micro level and then analyze the markets over there. So for example, here we've got Bitcoin, and we're not talking about weekly data. It goes down into the very short term. You can put this on a 1 minute chart, 5 minute, 1 second if you wanted to, and you'll be getting all these signals that can better help you catch certain moves. We've got, of course, very useful videos, example charts, so you can better understand how you can benefit from this method. Now this indicator is available not only for NinjaTrader but CTrader and TradingView at the moment. So that was all for this review. I very much appreciate your attention. Thank you very much for being with me. And I wish you a great weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.